Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music. Today I want to take a look at the orchestral piece by Maurice Ravel, Bolero. It's a one movement piece, usually works out to be about 13, 14 minutes long, a giant progressive ramp up in volume and orchestration, brilliantly managed. Ravel said it was an academic exercise on his part. But that single theme that keeps repeating and repeating has some really canny variations, melodic variations, scale variations. I thought we'd take a look at it today. And today's a special day for me. I'm celebrating. The channel has reached 1,000 subscribers, and that was my goal for this year. As I record this, it's the 21st, the solstice, the shortest day of the year, the longest night. So thank you. I'm really excited to be at 1,000 subscribers. I really appreciate being able to do this work with you. Like and subscribe, as we like to say, right? So here's my sheet music for Bolero. It's a piano score that I've had for a billion years. Bolero is built on a repeating rhythm and bass line. Begins in C major. All the notes from the original theme are in C major. The 3/4 Spanish Bolero rhythm is underpinned by a simple bass pattern and a repeating drum riff. We'll hear it for two measures here, and then we'll just kind of watch as the melody comes in. It begins on the tonic. Very simple, ends on the 5. And this feels like the same melody beginning on the second step of the scale, and so it has a kind of a Dorian sound, doesn't it? The bass is still C. But it very cannily resolves back down to the C. So this sort of A-B structure of that initial statement of the melody is a standard sort of dance form, of course. It's all diatonic to the key of C, and yet there are some interesting rhythmic suspensions and sort of lifts. So going on into the second sort of half of the melody, it begins on a B flat, and it sounds like the same theme for a moment, but then we realize things are a little bit darker. There's the B flat and the D flat, which is the minor third. But the E natural. And then up above, you'll hear it when it arrives. The D flat is the minor third of the B flat against a C in the bass. It's very spicy. I think it's that sense of the scale systems of classical Spanish music as influenced by North African scale systems appearing here rather consciously, probably on Ravel's part. It's hard to know where we're at. Here it gets very dark. E flat, D flat, ooh, and it ends up on C. Honestly, that second system, that second scale, is the one that interests me the most. The C in the bass and the way the G and the B flat works, it sounds to me a little bit like G minor, G Dorian minor, right, against the C in the bass. That's the way my ear reads it, so that when I hear the D flat, that sounds to me like a blue note, like a flat 5, right? It sounds to me, my experience of it is the experience of that sort of blues minor on G. And it would make sense in a way, wouldn't it? And it makes perfect sense until suddenly that gets violated. The A flat appears, and we wind up going down to the C from E flat, D flat, C. Well, what that is, and I'm playing it right now, is the third mode of the major scale, A flat major. So there's a little variation there. It begins flavoring itself with a sort of a G Dorian, right? G Dorian starting on the B flat. And then to resolve back to the C, we get what we'd have to call C Phrygian. It's like the A flat major scale. It's a beautiful sound. Very Spanish. Let's listen to that whole second section again, and I'll talk it through. Here we go. Starts on B flat, and I'm thinking of this as being G Dorian minor against the C in the bass. And this D flat right here sounds like a blue note. The E is the classic tone of the Dorian mode. And then suddenly here's the A flat. Ooh, so pretty. And now we're sinking down into that Phrygian mode. Ravel's very cannily using borrowed modes, parallel modes, to create a sense of mystery, a melody, a simple theme that gets permuted into different modes. The bass never changes. I think the bass player probably falls asleep around bar 200 in this piece. So you'll have to listen to the entire piece to get a sense of the brilliance of the orchestration, because it builds and builds and builds. A slow burn, adding instruments, stating the melody first with flute, then flute and trumpet, different woodwinds. There's one point in the piece where the bassoon is asked to play in its highest register, and it's a very otherworldly sound. There's another point in the piece where all the woodwinds are stacked in like a single chord, which moves in parallel, what my teacher used to call couplings. It almost sounds like a third instrument that's just a result of all this stuff put together. And then the climax of the piece, we've been in C all along with these modal shifts, lifts up a major third to the key of E major, really just for like 8 bars or so, before sort of plummeting back down into C and finishing. It's as if the piece hits a kind of a wall and says, I just don't know what to do, blows up into E major, up a major third, very bright, like the sun coming out, and then dropping down again. It's really something. Well, gotta love Ravel, right? Well, I hope this has been useful. Listen, I'm so grateful for hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark. I'm in this for the long haul, and I really want to know what you're working on. Drop me a line. Comments are great for the life of the channel and for the video. I wish I could go into more detail about this piece, but I'm going to count on you to listen to it, maybe get the score in front of you, at least just kind of like listen for those orchestration tricks that Ravel's using, the layering of instruments, the coupling, the creating of these beautiful melodic, they're called melodic devices when you handle a melody with 3 or 4 instruments specifically, Well, like and subscribe, you know the drill, and I'll see you next time.